Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Main Event podcast. We are here today closing out what has been an insane and very busy WrestleMania week. I'm Jez.
Yep.
That's Dan. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. The sun's been out today. It's a bit warmer, so it's all good.
Sun's out, fun's out. Is that how it goes?
Sun's out, guns out.
And have you been having fun in the sun, or is it just,
Well, working.
Some people enjoy their jobs, Dan. Do you enjoy your job?
I do enjoy my job.
Oh, there you go then. Fun in the sun.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
fun in the sun, if I may quote
Yeah.
the Red Dwarf theme.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't think I went outside other than to put a bin bag in the bin today. I think that's...
Wow. Don't go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've been busy in the house, but
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to do anything outside today.
Yeah.
But did go for a nice little picnic a few days ago on WrestleMania
lovely.
Sunday. Actually, took the child to like a playground and took a Subway with us and had that.
Beautiful.
A bit windy,
Love a
but
Subway.
can't have it all. Certainly not in April. April is for WrestleMania. It's not for having nice weather. So anything we get is a bonus. And we will get into WrestleMania, but before we do, I will just quickly add that this episode of the Main Event podcast, as are most of them, is sponsored by Goat Energy Drinks. Now, I will usually say try a bit of horny goat or funky goat, but I have learned today that there are new flavours of goat energy drinks, and I don't know anything about them. It's been so busy this last couple of weeks that I don't know a thing about them, and so right here on the show, Dan is going to tell me like a basic bit of information about the cans, and I've got to try and guess what the flavour is.
There you go.
And I wonder what they could be.
Yeah. So I'll just run through what the flavours of the ones we've got. This one I've got, the horny goat, is the flavour is pomelo, grapefruit, and mango.
Pretty much mango, really. Mango is what you can taste in it, isn't it?
The red one, which Jeremy has, is the sexual cherry, the funky goat.
It is unmistakably cherry. I don't know if people remember when we tried these out for the first time on stream, but this tastes like cherry, those cherry sweets that you used to be able to get. They're like cherry gumdrop things. Yes, very good.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. So there's two new flavors. So are you ready for this? The first can we're going for. It is a yellowy orange can, and it is called Groovy Goat.
I would say that's probably some kind of tropically flavor, like a pineapple-y, Caribbean, like a lilt type kind of flavor.
No.
Oh.
I'm going to give you three guesses. So that's one.
Right. Okay. Maybe not related to the yellow at all then. Let's go with banana.
No.
Yeah, good. That sounded awful now that I said it.
It did.
Okay, let's go with papaya.
No.
Okay.
It's just straight mango.
Oh, okay.
So
fair enough.
You'll like that. And the Groovy Goat.
What was that one called, sorry?
That's Groovy Goat.
Groovy Goat, okay, right.
The goat also has, because obviously all the goats look a little bit different. The Groovy Goat has a moustache, like a proper twizzled moustache,
like a Pringles guy moustache.
Yes, and he has like a side fringe.
Okay, so it's like a hipster goat,
pretty much.
Okay.
So the fourth flavour, or the second new flavour. So the can is like a lightish blue, and it is called Easy Goat. Give you three guesses.
God, I'm going to get this totally wrong, but okay. Can I ask you first of all, is it obvious? Is it related to the blue or the name in any way?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right, okay. Let's go with...
I have to say I'm quite excited for this flavour.
Guava.
No.
I don't even know if that's a flavor or if it's a type of something else.
I think it's a flavor.
I'm just saying words, really. Let's have a go of... If it's not obvious, it's not blueberry, but go on, blueberry.
No.
And finally, third guess is... Maybe this one's pineapple. Pineapple.
No. So, I will also say that this is their only caffeine-free one. So, anyone out there who can't have caffeine...
Yeah, there's plenty of people with caffeine intolerances, so that's a good selling point.
This flavour, the Easy Goat, is watermelon.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm quite looking forward to.
So that, watermelon flavoured stuff is usually quite subtle, isn't it? So yeah.
And the Easy Goat, his picture is him with a beanie on.
I mean, he is easy.
Yeah. So
I don't. Yeah. All I've got in my head is like a parody of a song now, and I don't even know what the original song was. But whenever you say "Easy Goat," I just want to go "Easy Goat, Easy Goat." He is an easy goat, which is a parody of something. Answers on a postcard if you know what it is.
Easy go.
Yeah, that song. Yeah. Easy Goat, Easy Goat.
I have a feeling they might have some more flavours coming out.
Oh, excellent.
So I've just scrolled down to the bottom of the page, and it has, because they call each can a tribe. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures on there of different types of goats.
I see. Well, watch this space. I will be reaching out to Goat Energy Drinks and using a bit of a code. There's some kind of code that we could use if we wanted to get ourselves some free shipping and 10% off. Goatdrinks.co.uk. Use the code Jez10 over there down underneath Daniel San. As I said, free shipping, 10% off. Try out the new flavors, or just get the cherry one because it's banging, as the kids say. Right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's crack on with WrestleMania, shall we?
Yes.
So another 2-night WrestleMania, April 6th and 7th, this past weekend as of recording. We had 7 matches on night 1. We had 6 matches on night 2, 7 if you count a certain additional match that only lasted for 9 seconds after the opening contest. I don't count that as a match, but each to their own. We're going to kind of blast through match by match and talk about what we want to talk about. We'll also talk about predictions for the World Prediction Championship.
Yeah.
I will say WrestleMania was the last of this quarter of predictions. But there are some events that we are not including in the number yet because we're going to talk about them next week. So we'll chuck the WrestleMania numbers in, but we won't know who is the champ for the first quarter of 2024 until next week's episode. Spoiler alert, it's me. The champ is here. That's not a prediction. That is a spoiler.
All right, just because Paul Heyman went into the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Jazz.
Hall of Jazz.
Yeah. Ooh, twat the mic, twat the mic.
Just hit the mic.
Let us twat the mic.
Deafen everyone.
Psych. There we go. Right. Is my mic still working? It's still working. Here we go. Did it again. Let's move this away a little bit.
I think you need to just sort it out a little bit.
I'm a liability with this.
You are a liability, man.
With this championship. And in general, yeah. Right. Is this in order on Wikipedia? It looks like it's in order, so let's just roll with it. Opening match, WrestleMania Night 1. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship. We said that this was a definite candidate to open the show. We did think that perhaps the Usos would start, didn't we, in the end? But I think this was a good way to start.
Good start,
Well, I say this is what started the show. It took about 20 minutes for us to actually get to the first match, but when they did a match, this was the first one. Rhea Ripley defeating Becky Lynch, which went against what I said. I thought that Becky Lynch was going to walk away with the win, so Congratulations to you on that one. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was a good opener. I quite enjoyed it.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't raving about it. I was very excited about this match. I thought it was definitely going to steal the show and that we would end up walking away saying that this was the match of the night. It wasn't.
No.
I'm not sure how much of that is owing to the fact that Becky Lynch has been under the weather for the week leading up to it. I also don't think that they planned a huge amount of kind of extra fun stuff in the match, really. It was pretty straightforward. Yeah. And when it came down to it, the ending just kind of came out of nowhere. It was like, right, Rhea Ripley's won, and there you go. Screw Becky Lynch and any notion of her winning the championship. So I was slightly disappointed. Yeah. But that's not to say that it was a bad match. It was just below par, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Becky Lynch, obviously one of the 4 horsewomen. Rhea Ripley mentioned in the press conference afterwards that the day of the 4 horsewomen is over.
Oh, yes.
Bayley would obviously beg to differ with what she does on night 2. But do you think that the likes of Rhea Ripley represent a changing of the guard, or do you think that Charlotte's just going to step back into whatever spot she wants when she is back from injury?
I would like to think that Rhea Ripley is, as you said, a changing of the guard, moving on a little bit, which I think is good. You know, great. Rhea Ripley's a fantastic talent. Bring it on. But I do have this feeling that Charlotte Flair's going to come back and she's going to be the one to dethrone Rhea Ripley.
Me too. I mean, they've got that built-in story of, you know, they're 1-1 at WrestleMania, aren't they?
Yeah, they're tied, aren't they?
So at least we'd probably be waiting until next WrestleMania if they were going to do that, or maybe they do it at SummerSlam. I don't know. Yeah. But you know, I'm not mad to be wrong. I like that Rhea Ripley is keeping the championship. Nice long reign. I said that she's the first of that champion, but obviously it has the lineage of is it the SmackDown Women's title that it has the lineage of, or the Raw one? They jigged around with it around the draft, didn't they? I think it's the
Raw.
I think it's the SmackDown one because
SmackDown was the what's now the WWE.
Is it? Because
women's.
Because who did she beat? Charlotte at WrestleMania last year, wasn't it? So that was the SmackDown Women's title. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because then didn't she get drafted or something?
Well, all of the Judgment Day stayed on Raw, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I've just decided to answer the question by clicking on the Wikipedia link of the results page that I'm looking on, and yes, it was the SmackDown Women's Championship.
There you go.
So yeah, it's 8 years old this August, that championship. And Rhea Ripley is not going to be the longest reigning at this stage, I don't think. Let's go down here. Reigns. Bayley's second reign is the longest singular reign at 380 days. So closing in.
I'd like to see Rhea Ripley have the longest reign.
Yeah, how long has Rhea Ripley been the champion now? At least a year.
Yeah.
So it's probably days away from beating that record.
Yeah.
She won it on April 1st, 2023.
Oh, so
that's 365 days to take you, 366 leap year to take you through to April the 1st, plus another 10. So that's 376. She will break it next week.
Cool.
Because she's not going to defend it between now and then. So she is about to become the longest reigning women's world champion in WWE history.
Cool.
No one will ever be the longest reigning women's champion in WWE, full stop, because that's like years and years and years. That's more ridiculous than the trying to beat the San Martino 8-year record. Like I'm pretty sure the Fabulous Moolah held it for like 15 years or something stupid like that. And if they want to keep it on Rhea Ripley that long, I'm not sure I'd be upset by it, but I might get bored after a few years. Yeah. Any other thoughts about the Women's World Championship match?
Nope.
Moving on then, the six-pack tag team ladder match. Not for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship, but for the Raw Tag Team Championship and the SmackDown, Tag Team Championship. Okay. Prediction-wise, things get a little bit complicated here. And, you know, I've just called it down the middle and tried to be as fair as possible, taking into account everything that we said and everything that we predicted.
Yeah.
Okay. So, to recap, I said that the belts would be split up.
Yeah.
That the Judgment Day would retain the Raw Tag Team titles and that A-Town Down Under would win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So I'm treating that as 2 available points.
Yes.
Yeah? The notion of it being split is kind of separate. 2 available points, one for the Raw, one for the SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I get 1 point from that because A-Town Down Under won the tag team titles.
Yeah.
You predicted that they would stay together, which was obviously incorrect, but you did manage to predict one of the 2 winners. And so to reconcile all of that, being wrong on one hand and right on the other, you will get half a point for that. You didn't get one thing entirely right. You got something half right. So you get half a point for that.
I'm still ahead.
Yeah, well, not currently you're not. As of talking and the matches, because we... Oh, yeah, you are, because you got the real rookie one right. Okay, you're still ahead.
I'm half a point ahead.
You're half a point ahead. Yeah, there you go. Congratulations. So, yeah, I feel like that is the best way of working that out. We probably should have predicted shenanigans from WWE and just and made that a 3-point system of will they be split and then points for whoever gets things right. But we didn't, so that's the best way I can tidy that up. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the match itself. Do love a ladder match at WrestleMania. It's become a tradition, really. Dating back to the Hardys, Dudleys, Edge and Christian days, and then being picked up by Money in the Bank until they got rid of that. And then they've had a few kind of multi-man ladder matches since they moved Money in the Bank to its own pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Was this worth the effort, do you think?
It wasn't a bad match. But it was fine.
I think that's the best way of putting it, really. It's not going to stand up there as one of the best ladder matches at WrestleMania of all time. It really isn't. I did enjoy a lot of the spots.
I did enjoy it, yeah.
You know, there was certainly some unique moments in there, and there were a few moments that made me kind of go, oh, which is, the hallmark for me of a decent extreme match, a ladder match or otherwise. So, yeah, it was decent enough, but I mean, I don't think it compares to any of the, Hardy's, Edge and Christian matches or some of those early Money in the Bank ladder matches that happened at WrestleMania. So it was what it was. How are you feeling about the splitting of the tag team championships?
Yeah, fine.
I think I spoke about it last week. I'm here for it. I think there are too many good or even average tag teams in WWE to just have one set of championships. And the problem with them being undisputed championships as well is it somehow raises the prestige of them so that you can only have really big main event stars competing for them. By splitting them back up, they can become more pure tag team titles that are just competed for on television, every other week. It's not just you have to save the championship matches for a special occasion because it's 2 main event guys that don't wrestle all the time. So glad to see them split. And I am really glad to see R-Truth get his WrestleMania moment a little bit as well. It's been a long time coming. I'm surprised they didn't go for any of the kind of, R-Truth picked up the belt and then just walked off type shenanigans. Like, no, I've won the belts, I'm gone, see you later. They went with tagging into a ladder match, which, okay, sure.
Yeah.
It's starting to become a little bit of a parody of itself at this stage, the R-Truth shenanigans. I want the guy to turn heel. I want him to go on one last huge monster heel run, and maybe even go for the world championship, you know?
Yeah.
He's a former NWA world champion, very
He
long
could
time
dethrone
ago.
Damian Priest.
He could be the one to dethrone Damian Priest, but he couldn't do that as a heel, though. He'd have to do that as a babyface, which would be okay, I guess. But then he'd still be playing dumb to do that. I don't think you can turn him babyface and drop the dumb shenanigans, or keep him babyface and drop the dumb shenanigans, I should say. A-Town Down Under, SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
I do wonder what the draft is going to bring and where these teams are actually going to end up. I hope they don't mess around with the championships that have the names of the brands on them too much, i.e. these ones.
I think, and don't take this as gospel, there's possibly going to be redesigns of the tag belts.
So what, are we going back to WWE and World Tag Team Championships again?
I'm not sure, purely because somebody noticed this on WWE Shop. They were looking at Cody Rhodes side plates, of all things. And in the description, somebody had put the wrong thing in there, saying, this is a pre-order items. The WWE Tag Team Championships with interchangeable side plates will be shipped on April 16th or something like that.
Oh, well, that's not happening. Because that's in 5 days. But
well, no, what they do is they usually have a load of replicas at the ready.
Okay. So April 16th is Tuesday. So I suppose they could unveil new tag team championships on Raw.
Yeah.
Or even on
Raw.
SmackDown this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Which way round would they do it? Probably the WWE ones on SmackDown, so they could unveil them on SmackDown.
Probably.
That makes sense, I guess. Fine. Yeah. I mean, that would solve the problem. I'm not sure whether A-Town Down Under should be moving to Raw. I think they're pretty well suited to SmackDown, but who knows? Who knows? I can see the Judgment Day heading to SmackDown as a unit because of Damian Priest being a champion on Cody Rhodes' brand.
I've just found the thing that shows about it.
Okay.
So I shall put this up to the camera. There is the Cody Rhodes side plates. And if you scroll down, the shipping says here, the manufacturing process has begun on the WWE Tag Team Championship replica title. If you choose to place a pre-order today, please note this item will be shipped no later than Monday, July 15th, 2024.
Okay.
So
they could announce it. Well, there we go then. Something to look forward to on SmackDown, potentially new belts.
Yeah.
We were hoping for a new belt on Raw for the Winged Eagle for the WWE Championship, and that didn't happen. So there you go. A slight tangent, but also a related tangent.
Yeah.
New Tag Team Championship belts. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about the ladder match?
No.
Onwards. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. A different match than we discussed and predicted this time last week on the show. I didn't rate this in any way, shape, or form. Anything about it, like not being Carlito, then replacing Dragon Lee, and then not doing anything with that. Like there was lots of predictions that Carlito would turn on them, and that would have been fine. But I don't care about any of this. I honestly
don't care,
and that's a shame considering I like the majority of these guys a lot. It just was all a bit thing. And even as somebody who is an NFL fan, big into that, having two offensive linemen from the Eagles interfere in the match was just totally
pointless.
Why? Random? Weird? Like, I don't get it. It's not like they're going to debut. Jason Kelsey's retired from the NFL. He's still not going to become a wrestler.
No.
Why would he? He's going to rake in that Taylor Swift money by virtue of his brother banging her. So, yeah. Yeah, weird. Didn't like the match. Wasn't that bothered about it. You know, we both went for the Rey Mysterio team, the LWO, to win. So even though it's a different person, I'm taking that as a point each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next then, a match that a lot of people were disappointed in, but I thought it was fine. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso.
I enjoyed it.
It was all right. You know, it wasn't anything special. I don't know what people were really expecting. Like,
no,
it was always going to be a super kick fest because that's what they've always done. You know, all of their matches have always been super kick fests, and so obviously, just against each other, double the amount of super kicks that are happening. Because instead of one team doing it, you've got both sides of the fight doing it. There were a few kind of clunky, botchy moments, and you know, it's got to be difficult fighting your brother. Whatever. I forgive it. It was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. At this point in the show, I'm thinking, okay, night one of WrestleMania is pretty much just setting up for tomorrow. Like, we're going to pass through this and everything's going to be fine. Nothing's going to be offensive or boring. It's just going to be fine. And they're saving themselves, at least for the main event. Or if not the main event, then tomorrow. And I was fine with that. Jey Uso defeating Jimmy Uso. Do you think that was the right call? Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, you've been calling himself main event Jey Uso for the last 2 years. It would be weird if Jimmy Uso decided to beat him and be like, like they're never going to put anything on Jimmy Uso in terms of a major singles championship because they can't trust him. He's had too many DUIs and keeps doing silly things. So he's on a good run at the moment of not doing silly things, but
he's being a good boy.
He is being a good boy. Keep it up, Jimmy. And your missus is back to keep an eye on you as well, so maybe that'll help. Speaking of the missus, the next matchup was Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and the missus, Naomi, defeating the Damage Control team of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. This was another fine match. There really isn't a whole lot to talk about it. I felt like the entrances were a little bit clunky. I would have preferred for each of these women to have their own full individual entrance. It's not like they were starved for time. You know, they had plenty of wasted moments in this and loads of advert breaks and weird extra things that didn't need to be there. This whole show could have been an hour shorter if they'd have cut out a lot of the crap. So I'm glad that the Jade Cargill et al. Team won. I think it's good representation for future generations of potential female wrestlers to see a whole group of black women doing things at the top of the game. Very good. Likewise, I think it's good just to have Asuka and Kairi Sane on this stage for the potential influx of Joshi Japanese female wrestlers that we're going to get, and the belief that young Japanese girls can wrestle in America if they want to. Good representation all around. Fine enough match. Before we move on to the next match, Matt is here. I'm only here for Cody Rhodes. #Cody Crybaby. Well, hold that thought. We've got one match to go before the night one main event, where we'll do some tearing up over Cody. And then we'll really get the waterworks on a little bit later. So stick with us, man. Welcome into the show, and welcome to anybody who's lurking about there. Can see the numbers. We've got some good numbers at the moment and people watching. Feel free to join in wherever you're watching.
Join in. We're
on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. I think there's only one place that you can't actually type at us, and that's Twitter. So come and find us elsewhere. Main Event TMEP on Facebook and YouTube, and we're on Jez X Everything on Twitch. Come and join in. Say hi.
There you go.
WWE Intercontinental Championship. I'm just going to come out and say it. Sami Zayn defeating Gunter in a match that I did not enjoy.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to enjoy it, and lots of people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for it. I honestly didn't.
I wasn't that fussed by it.
When you look at, all of the work of this international, damn
Intercontinental.
polluting my mind, the Intercontinental Championship reign of Gunther, and all the great matches that he's had defending it, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Chad Gable, I think he even already beat Sami Zayn early in the reign as well, in what was a decent match. Lots of excellent matches in this title reign.
Yeah.
And I just didn't buy it. I didn't buy Sami Zayn defeating him. I don't feel like that was a worthy end of the reign.
Yeah.
And I don't get what it does for Sami Zayn. He's already been Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't understand, frankly. If you were just looking for somebody historic to break it, like Chad Gable would have been a good candidate. Wouldn't quite have had that punch, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I don't think Sami Zayn had the punch.
No.
What you could have done is waited for Ilya Dragunov to be available.
Yeah.
They're clearly promoting him to the main roster as of the draft, who debuted on Raw after WrestleMania. He is the person that beat Gunther, right, for the UK Championship and that historic reign. So, create the story that Ilya Dragunov, for what he lacks in size compared to Gunther, has Gunther's number. What a great story that would have been.
Been amazing.
Wouldn't have been at WrestleMania, but I would have been totally fine with Gunther retaining and just carrying on. It felt so anticlimactic to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think the match was good enough to warrant the end of the reign. It was fine. It
was a fine match.
But I want, people on their feet not able to breathe because they've been screaming and shouting so much. And I just didn't feel like the people were behind Sami Zayn enough to warrant that. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a lot of people out there who disagree. Fine, you're entitled to your opinion, as I am mine. It just didn't do it for me. And I'm slightly disappointed by this Intercontinental Championship reign that we've got so far.
Yeah.
Such as it is after how many days? 5 days.
Yeah.
We both predicted that Gunther was going to retain it. So there you go.
Sucks to be us.
Yeah. We'll move on to the main event then, shall we?
Yeah.
Something I did genuinely get goosebumps during this match. The Bloodline, The Rock and Roman Reigns, with brand new WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
Or Freaking Nightmare, as they dubbed their team. I quite like that. Have you seen the Freaking Nightmare shirts?
Yeah.
I think I might want one. As much as it's, a fleeting one-off kind of moment. I think it was a nice t-shirt. Yeah. It's a good mix of the kind of graphics between the two. Yeah. Anyway, obviously this match had the stipulation that if the Bloodline won, which they did, then it was Bloodline rules in the main event of night 2. They made no effort to explain what that was, even right up to the moment that the match started. Fine. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a little while. Did The Rock embarrass himself? First question.
I think he did all right.
Yeah, I think the answer to that for me is no. He did not embarrass himself. No. I think that he held his own. Man in the chat says, yes, he did. I disagree. I think that especially for what is he, 50, 52?
He's
something?
51.
51. For a 51-year-old man who has not done this full time in 20 plus years, to come in and do this was pretty spectacular. Yeah. There weren't really any botches. No. I think the only kind of real botches he's done in this final boss return is some of the promos dragging on too long in the last couple of weeks. I think everything in the ring he did was absolutely fine and solid.
Yeah.
He took the moves really well.
Mm-hmm.
He delivered, the rock bottom and the people's elbow in the way that you'd want to see.
Yeah.
He can wrestle, but he looked clunky in parts, says Matt. I think the difference is that The Rock is carrying a lot more muscle now.
Yeah.
And so things look different than they used to look.
Yeah.
The Rock used to be a really skinny dude. Like, he didn't really have a whole lot of muscle mass.
No.
And so when he did the
lean,
moves, he just looked a bit more kind of free moving and like almost lanky. But now he's built and the movement isn't quite the same. So it's just different. It's not bad or good. It just looks different. And I think that's what some people are not taking into account. I'm looking at the match time here, and I didn't realize it went on this long. 44 minutes and 35 seconds that match was.
Did it go on that long? Flipping egg.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that, which, is good. You don't want to know that you've been watching one match for 45 minutes. That's pretty excruciating.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I felt
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It ended the way that it should have.
Yeah.
And it began the trend that carried into night 2 of, it wasn't groundbreaking booking by any means, but sometimes you have to just do what has to be done and do what is expected. Sometimes the story is obvious.
Yeah.
And you just need to play that out.
Yeah.
And I was totally fine with it. with it. Second longest match in Mania history, says Matt. What's the longest? Off the top of my head, couldn't tell you actually. I have no idea what the longest is.
No.
It's probably one of the championship matches, but I'm sure Matt will tell us in a moment. Save your thumbs. Yeah. Set up for night 2. Hart versus Michael's Iron Man. Oh yeah, of course. This is 60 minutes. Had to be 60 minutes because that's how that works. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, setting up for night 2. We are in Bloodline rules. Nobody knows what that means, but we're excited to find out what it means.
Bloodline.
Just they will do what they want, and we will like it.
Yeah.
And I did. Spoilers.
Shall
we progress into night 2?
We shall.
Now, night 2, I felt like had a lot more energy from the get-go.
Yes.
They attributed that to it wasn't ball-ass cold on night 2 like it was on night 1, and okay, fine. I do think it wasn't that cold when you looked at the numbers, and that they needed to stop whinging about it.
Yes.
That was probably my only complaint from night 1. It was complaining about how cold it was.
They did moan about it a lot.
Like, I converted it round. It was like 8 degrees. I'm like, okay, that's the temperature it is all the time here. Get over it, honestly.
Yeah. Man up.
If you didn't bring a coat with you, that's on you.
That's your problem.
Plan for the weather. Like, it was Philadelphia. You weren't having a show in Florida or California or like Cancun. You knew it had the potential of being cold. You knew it had the potential of raining even.
Yeah.
Like, and you'd seen the weather from the previous few weeks. It had the potential of just snowing or doing something absolutely nuts like that. So if you did not bring a coat, if you did not design your WrestleMania attire appropriately to accommodate some kind of warmth, that's on you.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. So that annoyed me. Anyway, that rant aside, opening match for night 2, Drew McIntyre versus Seth freaking Rollins for Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. I'll come in and add the addendum, followed by a cash-in of the Money in the Bank contract with Damian Priest defeating Drew McIntyre to become the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
So there's a few parts to unpack here. Let's start with the match.
Yep.
Did you enjoy the Rollins-McIntyre match, and did it meet the level that you would have expected to happen based on the build that we got?
I don't think it met the level of the build. Excuse me. I don't think it met the level that it was being built up to be. still a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it went all the way.
The problem with this WrestleMania was, and a few WrestleManias in the past, is the big gap between the last event and this actually happening. Is the build goes on for so long that expectations just go higher and higher and higher and higher. And obviously Drew McIntyre's been doing the best heel work of his career, especially on social media, like tweeting out as he made his entrance and then following it up after the match. It's like, mate, gold, wonderful. Keep that up. That was good. I can't even say what he tweeted after the match, but I think the first one was like, bored at work, lol, when he was at ringside waiting for Rollins to do all of his stuff. And then a single word expletive after Damian Priest cashed in on him.
That's a good way of describing it.
A single word expletive that's a synonym for fornication.
Yes.
To narrow it down even further.
Yes.
So the match was, I think it was better than fine.
Yeah.
I didn't like the level of kicking out of finishes that took place.
Yeah.
We know I've got a problem with that. We talk about that quite a lot on this show. But it was a solid match, and I think had it just ended with Drew McIntyre walking out with the World Heavyweight title, I think it was a worthy end of the Rollins reign.
Yeah.
Unlike the Intercontinental Championship that just kind of it felt lacking to me and wasn't a worthy end to the reign. I feel like if the match itself didn't do it, the way Rollins responded, in tears and telling McIntyre that he deserved it really punctuated that.
Yeah.
And it definitely punctuated what happened next. Definitely. Like Drew McIntyre going to the announce table and just kind of lording it over CM Punk. And then CM Punk just jumping the guy out of nowhere. We've seen a few examples of CM Punk jumping people out of nowhere this week. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's for some other time.
And then all of a sudden, here comes Damian Priest, and within 9 seconds, he was the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I've kind of expected it. I don't know about you. People have been rabbiting on for months, like, when's he going to cash in? Like, oh my God, this is the longest Money in the Bank ever. I'm like, just wait for it. Just wait for it. He's had plenty of opportunities to cash in. Yes. Doesn't mean that he should have. It's in a lot of ways, it was too easy to cash in before. And it would have just completely stunted his championship reign to just go, I've taken the easy road and won. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Damian Priest kind of needs to do it at the perfect moment to push his star over the line.
Yeah.
Because he will be he is now a first-time world champion.
Yeah.
And he needed to really make something of himself in winning that. And I feel like this was the way. The only other way he could really have made an impact was to just say, I'm having the match on this date and it's just going to be a match, and then he dominate the match and win.
Yeah.
But whoever he beats would never look good, and it would cheapen their championship reign. So I feel like this was the perfect cash-in. It was the perfect amalgamation of the Edge cash-in and the Seth Rollins cash-in. It was all of those vibes together. And I think in the conversation for the best cash-in ever.
Yeah, I'd go up there.
Yeah, certainly in the top three.
I was going to say in the top three.
Those other two that I've already mentioned were probably in there with it.
Yeah.
What order you put them in is up for debate for sure. But one of the better cash-ins, I think.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
And all rise for the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All rise.
Any more thoughts on the opener?
No.
Okay. I think the next few we're probably going to blast through because...
okay.
Yeah. Right. The Pride.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that at no point on WWE television before or during or after WrestleMania so far have this team of Bobby Lashley, Angela Dawkins, and Montez Ford been referred to as the Pride. But here it is on the internet called the Pride. I don't know where that came from. Just on a postcard. Anyway, That team, Hurt Business 2.0, defeated the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razar. Bubba Ray Dudley, special guest referee.
Okay.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
You like your extreme matches.
Yeah.
Did this fit the bill?
Sort of.
Parts of it definitely did for me.
Yeah.
I feel like the beatdown that the Final Testament gave everyone in the opening part of the match was great.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
To be honest, I would have been totally down with them just dominating and just beating that team. I still don't really understand the point of Lashley and the Street Profits being together.
No.
What's the link? Is the link just racial because that's lazy?
It probably is. It's a load of black people.
Yeah, and that's just lazy, really.
Yeah.
They haven't really set themselves apart of, there's money. Money is the other link, I suppose. The suits and the Rolexes and kind of a Four Horsemen-esque kind of vibe, an Evolution kind of vibe from them. But yeah, I think it needs something else other than just being a group of dudes linked by their race.
And there's B-Fab.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she is there. That is true. Cannot argue.
Scarlett was definitely there.
Oh, Scarlett was definitely there.
Scarlett was definitely there, and I was there. And to be honest, that's what I mostly focused on.
Yeah. I will not argue with that assertion. Yes, Scarlett was difficult to take your eyes off. That much is true. Not quite sure how to rescue this segment, Dan, if I'm honest with you.
No.
I think that might
just
be
gone
the
to
end.
predictions.
I think this might be the end of it. Yeah. We both went for the Pride. It's kind of obvious.
Right.
I would have enjoyed just beat down of this team and then the Final Testament walking out dominant. Because once again this kills any momentum that they had, and they're back in NXT now. So cool. Yeah. Right, fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Next, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Defeating AJ Styles in a normal match.
AJ Styles with new entrance music.
Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig the new entrance music.
I mean, I didn't hear it properly.
No. The phenomenon, and it's been a phenomenon forever, pun intended with the phenomenal one. When somebody gets new entrance music, in the arena, they play it really quiet for the first couple of weeks. And they've done that for as long as I've been watching WWE.
Yeah.
And then eventually they turn it up a bit so you can actually hear it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it. I think back in the day it was so people didn't record it off the television and kind of piece it together and have it. But there's no need for that now, especially considering it's probably going to be on Spotify by next week if it isn't already there. It might be. I don't know. I haven't looked. But yeah. New entrance music.
Yep.
AJ Styles continues to lose at pretty much every turn.
Yep.
Has he ever won at WrestleMania?
Yes. He won against Shinsuke for the World Championship.
He did beat Shinsuke, didn't he? Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more an indictment on Shinsuke Nakamura.
That was when Shinsuke turned heel, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That match was awful. That's why I blocked that one out. That was terrible. Yeah. But he's lost to Undertaker. He lost to Randy Orton. Probably some more as well. But
poor AJ.
Yeah. I kind of want either him to just ride off into the sunset or to get one last run. Maybe he'll get it after they draft people around and shake things up. Maybe he'll get a shot at something. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just disappointing to me after all this time that AJ Styles just doesn't win.
Yeah.
Ever. It's very sad. Did you enjoy the match?
It was all right.
Yeah. Nothing special. It was designed to put LA Knight over.
Yeah.
It did that just fine. Could have done with a stipulation, I think.
Yeah.
Could have done with some kind of added thing, especially considering the build went to their houses and people were arrested and all that kind of stuff. It seemed personal enough that it could have had a stipulation.
Handcuffs on a pole.
All right, Vince Russo, thanks very much for that. Next up, then, United States Championship. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton challenging Logan Paul in a triple threat match. It was a triple threat match, Dan.
It was a triple threat match. I liked the chemistry between KO and Orton. I thought they just had fun.
They did it. They did thoroughly enjoy taking 7 strips out of Logan Paul. Yeah. That much is certain. Yeah. Did that make for a good match?
Not particularly. It was fine.
I still think I would have preferred Logan Paul against either of these guys one-on-one, to be honest.
And he had a guy in that stupid Prime bottle again.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was.
It was a different guy this time.
I've consulted the internet. His name is iShowSpeed.
Yeah, him. Because I know who that is.
Yeah. When I went on Twitter to find out who it was, there were lots of people saying, I asked my 12-year-old and they told me who this is. I'm like, right, okay. Obviously caters to a demographic. Yeah, and then I scrolled through the Twitter feed of iShowSpeed and right, okay, great. This is what our kids are watching. Okay, thanks, wonderful. I can't wait for my child to be a teenager. I'll probably kill myself. Now then, Logan Paul retaining the United States Championship. You predicted that. In fact, the end of the match went down pretty much as you predicted, you know.
Hell yeah.
Somebody else does the work. He comes in, does the dirty.
Hell yeah.
Heyo, I'm Jello. Came to say hello and watch you fine fellows. I love the rhyming. It's neat. I love it. Jello TV. Welcome in.
Hello, Jello.
Hello, Jello.
Hello, Jello.
I am intrigued as to what Jello TV entails. Feel free to tell us what you do on Twitch. I'm going to assume, if you don't tell us, I'm going to assume it's some kind of swimming pool based Jello entertainment. And even if you tell me it isn't, that's probably what I'm going to believe it is. Logan Paul retained the United States Championship. You predicted it. Do you think it was the right move, other than giving you a point?
Yes.
Why?
Just because I think he can keep on being a heel. I don't think Orton or KO kind of needs the United States Championship.
They don't need it. That much is true.
So I think Orton should probably go for like a world title again. And even KO, he should as well, you know. But I think there should be, I don't know who, but somebody else should dethrone Logan Paul.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just kind of saw this as an opportunity to dethrone Logan Paul without beating him in that sense. You know, they want Logan Paul to keep this mostly undefeated streak. I know that he lost to Roman Reigns, obviously. Everyone lost to Roman Reigns. That's kind of the point. But I think there was a good opportunity to take the belt off him and then move on with it. Because I don't think it's doing much for Logan Paul either. It's not doing much for the US title. It did what it needed to do. It's not doing anything for anyone anymore. And I think it needs to go back onto somebody who's going to be defending it, if not week in, week out, then at least every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like it was a missed opportunity there. In terms of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, I do want to see more of them together. And I think we're going to get it. I think that they're going to go straight into a feud with A-Town Down Under for the tag team titles.
That'd be awesome.
I honestly think that's the direction they're going to take this, at least for the next couple of weeks, until they might split them up in the draft or something.
Yeah.
And I think A-Town Down Under will keep the titles through shenanigans, and it will be entertaining for all involved. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. We've got the information from Jello.
Oh.
I just mainly come here to play games, but to mostly view streams. I'm trying to get more into wrestling fan streamers. Fair enough.
Nice.
Yeah, well, welcome in. For anybody that is new, this is the Main Event podcast. We are here most Thursdays at 8 p.m. UK time, chatting about any and all wrestling company. Right now we're talking WWE WrestleMania, obviously, because apparently it was kind of a big deal.
It was kind of a big deal.
Some people said it was pretty good, so we thought we'd talk about it. Normally we talk about the other stuff that has like 4 people watching it rather than this many people, but we thought we'd give something popular a go, and here we are. It would have been good for Kevin to win, says Jello, so that Kevin and Sammy both had that good moment to share. The only problem with that is you'd have been at great danger of recreating the Eddie Guerrero Chris Benoit moment. And I don't think anybody wants to be reminded of
Nobody
of
wants
that,
to be reminded of that.
because of, reasons.
Stuff. Moving on.
Things that took place. Yeah. Okay. 2 matches left on the WrestleMania card. And then we get to see what the final score is leading into, not the final score, because we've got other things.
Penultimate.
Yeah. We'll know how we did after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WWE Women's Championship. Bayley, Io Sky. What did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought Io looked a little bit clumsy at times.
Yeah.
And I think Bayley kind of helped her out a little bit a few times.
I don't know if it was the moment that, obviously this was the biggest match of Io Sky's career, and I don't know if the moment got to her a little bit. I don't feel like she was bad, or we've got any reason to say that she should never be near the championship again, or any nonsense statement like that. But I see what you mean, and it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been a little bit of kind of clunky moments, and just have some decent singles feuds with people for the foreseeable, and improve that before you will eventually get another WWE Women's Championship reign. I'm sure of it. It would be an injustice for you to not have another one. But it was a good enough match, and the outcome was really what it should have been. It would have been really bizarre if both of the women had retained their championship across the weekend. It would not have made much sense. Bayley also has new entrance music.
Yes.
And she had like an Egyptian themed entrance, and shaved some pyramids into the side of her head. So
why not?
I didn't quite understand the significance of that personally, but it looked good. So
it looked good.
So why not? What's next for Bayley, do you think? Who's going to step up to Bayley as the new women's champion? I don't know,
really. Do you think she's done with Damage Control?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would be quite easy, I suppose, to just have a rematch at Backlash.
Yeah.
Backlash is usually filled with WrestleMania rematches, so that could be the direction we go. I would hope that things are going to be slightly different this year, though, being that it's a big event in itself, because it's in a stadium in France. So I would hope to get some new things. But the fact that the draft is the week before it does not fill me with confidence that we're not going to get anything, just a repeat of WrestleMania. Time will tell. Hopefully we'll start to get the idea of what's going to happen with that on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But, it was decent enough.
It was decent enough.
Is the answer. Yeah. Outfits and entrances were awesome, says Jello. The match definitely had slip-ups, but I think in the end now Damage Control without Bayley will be hard to maintain momentum. Yes and no. I think that they're going to lean really into the Joshi kind of aspects of Damage Control. And I think there are women out there who could join the team. Or if there isn't women out there who could join the team, there are other women's factions that could really become foils for them. At the end of the day, they have the Women's Tag Team Championship, and something has to happen with those, because otherwise we forget it exists. And maybe you already did. You can let me know if that's the case. But I think there's plenty of options out there as a stable. I don't think we're going to see them in the title picture very much for a little while at least. Yeah. I mean, the dream is that Bayley goes into a long rivalry with Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany Stratton eventually dethrones her. That's what I want. Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
I think that's what the internet wants. I think that's what everyone wants.
Let's have her, have a few failed attempts and then finally beat her at SummerSlam or something. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Main event time.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodline rules.
Woo.
Both a statement of fact and a description of the match rules.
Yes.
Undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. Say that 6 times fast.
Say that when you're drunk.
Roman Reigns with brand new WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman versus Cody Rhodes with Brandy and pretty much the entire arena behind him.
Yeah. And the locker room.
And yeah. I did feel a little bit sorry for our tribal chief in the end of it, really.
Yeah.
He was ganged up on a little bit, and what on earth has he done to deserve that kind of treatment? Like, he would never, use other people in the match to kind of determine his victory in the same way that Cody did, would he?
I'll come back to you on that one.
I don't believe he would at any moment, to be honest with you. Now, this match was shorter than the Bloodline match in the night before. This was 33 minutes and 25. I will be honest, there were parts of this match where my interest kind of waned.
Yeah.
And it was kind of leading up to where the shenanigans happened and Solo ran in and everybody else ran in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is in some people's lists as a match of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Would you put it there?
I'd say I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed it. Good match. Not in the match of the year candidate.
I don't think it was the technically sound kind of drag out that you would have to have for it to be in the match of the year conversation for me.
Yeah.
As you say, it was decent. And, having all of those names in the match certainly made it exciting. Yeah. I think if you have been a fan of WWE for any number of years, you enjoyed it more because of the run-ins than the match itself.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things paid off over the course of this match. Obviously, the Solo Sikoa interference was a carbon copy of last year. It was designed to be. So that it looked like the same thing was happening and that Cody was going to have the rug pulled out from him again.
Yeah.
John Cena coming down obviously is a throwback to his match with Solo, and also the fact that he is one of Roman Reigns' victims over the course of the long championship reign. You had The Rock and The Undertaker mixing it up, which is the obvious throwback to the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And I think the kind of story payoff, not deliberate, but still long-time storytelling at its best. Roman Reigns choosing to hit Seth Rollins in the back with a chair rather than hit Cody Rhodes. I think that was the single best moment of the entire weekend. Yeah. Because it kind of paid off that Shield breakup. And although Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have had matches and they've had rivalries, you've never really had the idea that Roman Reigns has got his revenge for being turned on all those years ago. Yeah. That was an FU moment to Seth Rollins. This is for whatever year it was, 2017, 2016, a long time ago. Like, this is for that night when you stabbed me in the back. Yeah. Figuratively and almost literally. And Seth, Dean Ambrose did his best, like, derp face, like, can't believe you just did that. Yeah. I think the payoff of that moment was the greatest thing. And Seth Rollins was just the MVP of the whole weekend for me. Yeah. Between his match and the emotion that he showed throughout all of this, I think it was fantastic. Yeah. So the run-ins helped. Not a match of the year candidate, but certainly very entertaining and solid in general. Yes. Obviously, Cody Rhodes finished the story. Yeah. Right choice?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't think life would have been worth living, or at least the internet would not have been worth going on if Cody Rhodes had not finished the story on Monday. Like, You think the boos that Roman Reigns got after beating The Undertaker were bad? Imagine the boos every single thing would have got for the entire show if Cody Rhodes had not won that match.
Yeah.
Which would not have been worth it. And, I like the whole notion of it kicking off a new era and Cody Rhodes being the leader of that new generation.
Yeah.
It does kind of throw back the vibes to that new generation of Hart and Michaels and getting rid of that cartoony WWF.
Yeah.
To harken in the what became the Attitude Era, and I think we're not heading into another Attitude Era, but I do think we're heading into another peak era. Of WWE. So there were a lot of throwbacks and kind of parallels, and I liked it. I really did. There was a moment, I know a lot of people when they heard the Shield music were hoping for Dean. Yes. Those people do not understand geography, I don't think, because John Moxley was in Japan. And it would have been a hard slog for him to get there in time. And also he's contracted to another company. And we had a conversation about this before we went live. I think the new WWE is going to have an unprecedented level of working with other companies. I think WWE is going to work with literally every company on the planet except for AEW. I think Triple H has got some kind of problem with Tony Khan and is unwilling to let it go. I hope that changes. I would like to see, some crazy WWE versus AEW kind of shenanigans, but I don't even know what that would look like, and it would probably be messy, and somebody would end up getting butthurt, and it would maybe I don't want to see it. Maybe I don't want to see it. NPD MW, welcome in. Jay versus Jimmy was the only bad match at WrestleMania 40. I wouldn't. We did discuss it. I wouldn't say it was bad. It wasn't spectacular. There was a lot of average across the two nights. And there were some spectacular moments, but there was a lot of, especially on night one, and this does segue us quite nicely into talking about the show in general. There was a lot of just, we're going to go out and give you exactly what you expect. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think that carried into night two a little bit. I think the World Heavyweight title match was above and beyond. I think the women's championship match was above and beyond. I didn't see anything spectacular from the Philadelphia Street Fight or the AJ Styles LA Knight match. So, I don't think there was a bad match at WrestleMania 40.
No, there wasn't a bad match.
But I understand the gripe with the Jay versus Jimmy match. Better was definitely expected. And so in that, the one last question I have for you about the weekend as a whole. Many are touting WrestleMania 40 as the greatest WrestleMania of all time. What say you?
I enjoyed it. It was a good WrestleMania. I wouldn't say it's the greatest.
I agree with you. It was certainly good. It's probably the best WrestleMania in WWE history. I.e., since they changed the name to WWE. Which is saying a lot. That was a long time ago now. That was over 20 years ago. But I don't think it is the best of all time. I think you need also to let it breathe a little bit. Let's come back to this conversation in 5 years. Recency bias is a major, major thing. And while you're in the moment and you're enjoying all of it and you're excited, it's difficult to really objectively look at it and then look back at the others and do a proper comparison. But when I look at the WrestleManias of the past, and I'm sure if I ask you what is my favorite WrestleMania, you can give me the answer because it's most people's favorite WrestleMania.
I can't remember.
You can't. WrestleMania 17.
That's the one.
WrestleMania 17 is the best WrestleMania of all time. There was only really one bad match.
That's the one with Rock and Austin in it.
It's Rock and Austin and the heel turn. And the Austin.
I can't remember the numbers.
Yeah. Kicking off with the Hardcore Championship match that went everywhere, and there's the William Regal, Chris Jericho Intercontinental Championship match. I think it had it all. The only bad match on it was the gimmick battle royal, but it was a gimmick battle royal. It was what it said on the tin, and I think when you put them side by side, you had to have 2 nights of WrestleMania 40 to even come close to WrestleMania 17, and I don't think it did. Were there certain moments at WrestleMania 40 that I think will live as the greatest moments in WrestleMania history? Yes, absolutely. The emotion at the end of the night after Cody Rhodes had won the championship. Yeah, I don't think you're going to beat that ever. No, and you haven't seen it before either. Yeah, that was a special moment. Does it all come together as the greatest of all time? Right now, I don't think so. No. But as I said, let's talk about it in 5 years. God, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for next year's WrestleMania. Yeah. This was the first Triple H led one. Yeah. Let's see what happens after another full year of development. Another full year of Netflix money coming in. Yeah. By the time we go to WrestleMania next year, most of the world will be watching WWE on Netflix. Yeah. That's going to change things. Yeah. It's going to make a big, big difference. Big old difference. They don't necessarily have to mess around with commercials and stuff anymore. No. Especially on Raw. They won't need to have commercials. They probably will because they like making money, but they don't have to. They can mess around with the format. They can mess around with everything WWE is. And when you hear Triple H talking at the press conference afterwards about how, strap in, things are about to change, I believe it. And I can't wait to see it. Yeah. Yeah. I believe in everything that they're doing. I really do. Let's see where it goes.
Bring it on.
So, 2 last things. Yeah. Both numbers related. First of all, let's give WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania XL, a rating. And I'm going to have to mark it down because of the lack of Liberty Bell. But what do you say, Dan, on this day? WrestleMania 40 out of 5 missing Liberty Bells.
I enjoyed it. I have to give it... I'm going to be generous, give it 3.5.
That's generous, is it?
In my book, it is.
Okay. I'm going to be actually generous.
Oh, you're going to give it a 4?
I'm going to go and give it a 4.25.
Flippin' egg.
Yeah, which is one of the highest ratings I've given an event on this podcast. It isn't the highest.
No.
I think the highest is Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Yeah, I think you gave that 4.5.
Yeah, that was spectacular.
Yeah.
Loved Wrestle Kingdom 17. Basically, you put 17 at the end of a wrestling event and it's going to be awesome.
There's a theme there.
Yeah. Just put 17 at the end of everything. It'll make it instantly better. Yeah. 4.25. I think that's fair.
There you go.
And then moving on to predictions for this, the beautiful Main Event Podcast World Prediction Championship. And I'm desperate not to hit the mic with again because I'm very good at that. I'm also the hit the mic with the championship belt champion. Get on my shoulder and stay there. Right. So, as we said, this show, WrestleMania, is the last of this quarter. So this will determine a retention or a new champion. But we're not talking about Ring of Honor, Sakura Genesis, or Stand and Deliver until next week's episode, which are the last points. So we won't know the winner until next week. But anything we predict from now is for next quarter. Yeah. That's very confusing, but just next week.
Just roll with it.
Next week we know champion, don't know now. Okay, right.
Yes.
But for WrestleMania, scores on the doors, I ended on 9. And you ended on 11.5.
Boom.
That half for the tag team match complication. which means that the score's on the doors with those three events to go.
Boy.
66 for me. 68.5 for you.
Hey, yes, boy.
Never before has the number come over the front of a logo, I don't think. But, that 0.5 really fills the space.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a good job it's coming to the end of the quarter, because I could not tolerate that 0.5 being there for much longer. It
would annoy you.
Yeah, I'd have to make your number really small so that it wouldn't overtake everything. Yeah, so tune in next week. And you will know whether and still or and new. And you'll get to talk about all the other wrestling that took place on WrestleMania weekend.
Yay.
Because it was a hella weekend of wrestling.
It was packed.
Never has there been a better time to be a wrestling fan. You can't move for wrestling. There's wrestling everywhere. So do come back to us next week. Find out who the champion is. Let us know any further thoughts you have about WrestleMania in the comments.
Yeah.
Give your own ratings, all that kind of stuff. Check out Goat Energy Drinks. These 2 flavors that we already knew about, and they're new flavors available at goatdrinks.co.uk. Jez 10 will get you 10% off and free shipping. Well worth doing. Get the cherry. These new flavors are going to have to do a lot to convince me not to just keep getting the cherry.
I'm intrigued by the watermelon.
Yeah. Until next week, I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
And this has been the Main Event Podcast. Toodles.
Bye.